Welcome back to Keys Prop Hunt. On today, we'll be looking for some props that we can hit on. Let's get into it. Starting out here on the batter versus pitcher slate tool. Let's filter to the left-hand side. Got Ryan Johnson of the Angels facing the Baltimore Orioles at home. Singa, I think he's home versus Chicago. He is. Hold on, we're looking at weighted OBA right now. Let's go swing and strike. Got Saval here, really struggling over the course of the last month and a half, so I will look into him. Excuse me. So struggling from the left side of the plate as well as the right, to be honest. Left side of plate only a 12, almost 13% K percentage. K to walk 4.5, real low, ground ball, fly ball, whiffs low as well. Giving up some barrel, more so to righties. Really likes to throw this cutter 35% of the time. Down here, you got a Reyes, Devers with a couple home runs against it. Last 30, Devers 714, one home run. Reyes 500, only 4 at bats. Eldridge looks good here too, 500, 6 at bats. Not a real difference in where he's located. It looks like he's trying to go top of the zone for the most part. Does get in trouble here and more so the bottom of the zone, but he's barely throwing it there. So not a big sample size there for them this year. Lee 500 last year. Reyes 333, 12 at bats. Low K percentages. Let's get this curveball. Reyes 471. Outside of him, Lee 231. The rest really no at bats there. Last year, Reyes 438. Devers 552. Not bad. 3 home runs for Devers against that curveball last year. And it's throwing the sinker and this 4-seamer that's getting barreled. So Eldridge is hitting that 375, 8.3 barrel. Devers with 9.1 barrel across 11 events. Reyes 286. And then Lee 250. So Reyes dropped off a little bit there. Still 0% K. So it's putting the ball in play. Just not dropping for hits yet. You got Eldridge, 11% barrel there. Batting 500. So about 1 barrel for him. That is the sinker, which he has given up 3 home runs to. You look last year. So Eldridge had 1 event in which he barreled. Devers 21% barrel across 23 events, so do like that. Reyes was not hitting this sinker last year as well. Just not dropping for hits, barely not striking out really at all. But just getting unlucky on the hits. Four-seamer, throwing it almost the same as that sinker. Both getting barreled as I mentioned. The K percentage is real low here for this four-seamer. Whiff as well. Eldridge 290, 4 home runs. Lee 386, Reyes 371. Devers does have 4 homers. Is striking out a lot though. Reyes has seen it the most. Let's go last 30. So Eldridge 17% barrel there. 364. Arraez 429. Lee 500. Devers 200 here. 1 home run, about 1 barrel. So far, I like Arraez for a hit. I know he's not necessarily hitting that sinker. However, it is his 3A, essentially there 3A, 3B with the 4-seamer and sinker. So I see him looking for the cutter and curveball, which he's doing great against. Can put the sinker in play, just not dropping down for a hit. Home run wise, I think Savali gives up a home run here. He's barreling more with righties. However, lefties are getting the home runs, 8 there on the year. It's more so the sinker and 4-seamer. However, as I mentioned, that's his 3A, 3B there, in which Eldridge looks great against both this sinker and this 4-seamer, 15% barrel. Not necessarily barreling this curveball or this cutter, if I remember correctly. In which Devers is for the season, but not in the last 30 days. Does have the batting average there for Eldridge. So not necessarily a high barrel percentage for Devers on the year against those two home runs though. Eldridge nothing there, but is in the sinker and the 4-seamer. Let's go last 30. Devers with the most home runs against the pitch mix, 8 there. Eldridge 5. And then 4 and 3 there. I lean Eldridge because he's hitting the 2 that Savali is having trouble with. However, I see him leaning more so on that cutter and curve, more so the cutter, because he's having some success there. So I lean Eldridge. I will say Devers looked great against this last year, especially the curveball. I'm pretty sure I saw. Yeah, 22.7 barrel. And then the cutter itself, 9.1, still 2 home runs. Yeah, I'll say you can go either Eldridge or Devers there, possibly. San Fran is a hard ballpark to hit it out of. Okay, moving on. You got Keller at home against Seattle. They do have some capable lefties in that lineup. I'm more so like Canzone. 283 against the pitch mix as a whole. Throwing the 4-seamer 35% of the time, which Canzone's 306. You got a couple here, 293 for Raleigh, 333 for Emerson. Raleigh 24% barrel. Canzone 19% barrel. Naylor's hitting it as well, 288. Last 30 wise, Canzone 412. Emerson 368. Crawford 308. Raleigh really dropped off. Still has the barrel. So did Naylor, 217. Still 4%. Sorry, as a fly. 4% K for Naylor there. So that's the 4-seamer. You can look into this changeup. I think he's dropped off usage in this changeup. So full season wise, Canzone does not look good against that changeup. Naylor 214, 9% barrel. More so Crawford here. He may use it here, but I'm pretty sure he's dropped this off a little bit and he's started to throw that curveball a bit more. That's his second pitch. Canzone does look better in the last 30 against that. Crawford still looks good, small sample size. Canzone has seen it the most. So expect him to see it here since for the season he's not necessarily the best against it. Curveball wise, Canzone 2 home runs there. Young 750, small sample size. Season wise, Canzone 308. Still has the K percentage there, very high. And then a 33% barrel too. So both of those home runs have come in the last 30. Had Bradish and Nelson. Not bad. I'd more so say I'm looking here for a home run than them to hit for an average. So no one's really seen that sweeper. Neither has a barrel against it. Let's look last year. Canzone 500, 14% barrel. Rally 16% barrel. Seattle's an offense that's hard to trust, to be honest, but Canzone has been hitting as of late. So I lean him here if I'm going to go someone. 19% barrel cross, 47 events in the last 30 with this pitch mix. And Riley's more so a platoon guy, so I expected him to be in the lineup here. So I lean Canzone or Riley here, more so Canzone, but Riley, you know, as I mentioned, is a platoon guy. I don't think he's played much recently. So should be rested for him. 10% barrel across 39 events. Let's move on. Got Richie at San Diego. Really don't trust their lefties. Sheets, Merrill. Got Lodolo at home with Milwaukee. Oh, you got Kirby at Pittsburgh. I'm not looking at their righties. They have Gonzalez, Ozuna, Trillo. Not anybody I'm looking at. More so looking here. Home run. That barrel isn't quite high though at all, but he's giving up homers. This is like a long shot home run. Look here. Four seamer, you know, I'm looking for Lau. I know he hasn't done it as a late, but he's the guy when it comes to four seamers. Still has the barrel percentage highest on the team. Horwitz has started to barrel four seamers, but I more so don't look at him when I'm looking for home runs. He can hit them at times though. Slash 30, 17% barrel for Lau. He got Reynolds here too. 3 home runs. This is more so because I feel like Lau is due. Had a fly out there 2 days ago. I believe that's when I was talking about him. In which he had the ideal launch angle, 27 degrees. Okay. %25 on the year. Like that's across 40 events. Reynolds doesn't look bad here at all either. And he's been hitting as of late. Knuckle curve, I don't really expect to see much here. 444 for Lau. 0% barrel. See if he's seen any recently. So not in over a month. But it's the four-seamer that he's getting in trouble with. Sweeper. Reynolds is starting to look good now that I am looking at this. He has a barrel across each of those. Lau's over him because of that four-seamer as much as he's seen that. I say either or here. I'm more so lean Lau than Reynolds, as I mentioned. I think he's due. Outside of them, that has not hit one recently. But as I looked at it, Reynolds did, start to look good. 406, 4 home runs, 20% barrel. So Reynolds could go here too. Don't really trust the Angels lefties. Don't trust Cleveland's either. Not looking at Colorado. You can look at Cabrera here. 286 to lefties, 10% barrel. Giving up a lot of home runs, 14. He hasn't had a quality start in like a month and a half. Throwing this changeup a bunch, 36%, almost 37. So look at weighted OBA. So you got Soto here, 353, weighted OBA, 9% barrel across 22 events. .391 across the last 30. Bench did come up here, so I'll look at him. Did have the ideal exit velocity and launch angle there, 400 feet. Had a hit at center. 2 triples here, actually. That one he barely got off the ground though. Has a couple here that are ideal. I was looking Soto home run here, but possibly bench. It's not hitting it well for the year. I know that's a small sample size, last 30 though, but has the same barrel as Soto. Soto is barreling this four-seamer though. Bench 6.7, 3 home runs though. I'm gonna look at last 30, so 14.3% for Soto, 9.1 for bench. Does have the Ks that come with it. Has the most events though. So he homered against Wheeler, and the day before against Lazar. Has been hitting better as of late, for sure. He's over him last 30, 10.3. It may be bench here for a homer. If he doesn't want to go at Soto, I want to say he's right behind Soto. He might be batting cleanup. Soto's number 3. Bichette's number 2. Who's leading off? Is it Young? Young may be leading off. I think Young is leading off. No. Young has to be 4. Ewing has to be leading off. One of those, I believe. Either way, he's by. No, Young may be leading off. Benj is number 4. Yeah. Has to be that. Either way, Benj is somewhere near Bichette and Soto. So if Cabrera is trying to pitch around them, I could see Benj doing it here. I do like Soto for a hit, possibly for a homer. They're both hitting the changeup and the four seamer. I will look at this curveball because he is giving up barrel there. So no one's necessarily hitting that. Small sample sizes for them all. Last 30. Bench 273, 11% barrels. Soto 25%. Only 4 events, so 1 barrel for them each there. Let's look last year. So Soto 25% barrel, so 4 barrels across 20 events. Honestly, like them both. Let's look at his so just had a decent, that was last month, decent one there. Fly out against Richie. Soto. Not much there outside of that home run. I'll go with Soto, a hit here, and then possibly bench for a homer here. I feel like he's around Soto, pitch around Soto. He can hit one out too. Moving on. Let's look at like one more lefty. Got Leahy here, Sprout at Cincy. De La Cruz did just come back. Got Quantrill just making his first start of the year too. Let's look at Leahy real quick. I don't really trust Arizona, but Leahy's kind of like just not good. So he's throwing the four seamer. And to be clear, this is just a home run play. I'm not looking at them for batting average. Don't trust them. Barrel, you got Carroll and Marte, 17%, 15%, last 30. 11.5 for Carroll, 2 home runs. 10.3 for Marte. We'll look curveball. 10% for Carroll across 10 events, so 1 barrel there. Marte did homer against it. 13 events for him. Look last 30, so one barrel there for Carroll. Let's look last year because it's not a big sample size. See if Carroll did anything last year. So 5 home runs against that curveball last year for Carroll. 25% barrel. So about 7 barrels on the year last year against that curveball for Carroll. And then this year, change up. This is getting barreled for him. Homer. Not much here for him. 1 home run though for Carroll. And then nothing there last 30. I will look at last year to get a full season view of it. 15% barrel last year, 33 events, 1 home run, 3 home runs for Marte. I more so lean Carroll here when I'm looking at a right-handed pitcher for Arizona. So, and then 8 home runs across this pitch mix on the year, 7 for Marte. I believe he hits left-handed pitching better, in my opinion. So I'll go Carroll here, possibly for a home run. I will note that Leahy gives up a bunch of home runs. However, it's more so on the road than it is at home. And then I want to look at Quantrill real quick from the left-hand side. So has been a reliever for the most part this year. This sinker he's getting in trouble. I actually will look back when he started. So this cutter last year was getting barreled, 5 home runs. Got Stowers and Cassie here, both 16.7 barrel, small sample sizes. So I will go back to last year to see a full year's view. So 15% for Stowers, 2 home runs, 20 events. So that looks good. Splitter, not so much. The sinker, which I believe he's got in trouble with this year too. So 40% barrel for Conan there, only 5 events. 40% barrel for Stowers across 10 events. So 4 barrels, 1 home run for him, 10% from Marcy. Last 30, let's look at it. 40% barrel. So 2 barrels there for Stowers in the last 30 with the home run. Just homered against Webb 2 days ago. A line out, a fly out there, double there. Okay, so his last 2 events against this sinker have been barrels. Do like that. We'll look at this 4-seamer is only throwing at 15% in time. 16% barrel for Stowers. 28% for Cassie. Small sample size for him. Full season wise, Stowers 11.4, 44 events. Edwards has some barrel there too across 67 events. Not bad here. As I mentioned before, when I'm looking from the left hand side of the plate for power, I'm looking for Stowers. So possibly Stowers for a home run here. Coentrell's just getting back to starting for the Rangers. So on the road, Stowers looks good there for a home run. I will look at the right side for average because you see righties are hitting them a bit better than lefties. I'm more so looking here for Lopez, so 290 for the full season across his pitch mix, 15% strikeout. Sinker wise, 378, so like that, 2 home runs there, 9.5 barrel. 400 in the last 30 across 15 at bats, 0% K, so do like that. Splitter 200, not a lot of at bats there. So 214 on the year, 33% strikeout. Okay. Last year, let's see. About the same, 250, 1 home run there. Okay, so not seeing the splitter quite as well. Let's look at this slider. 302 for Lopez, 14% K. And then nothing recently. Let's look at this. 211, only a 10% K. So struck out against Skeens. Quantrill by no means is Skeens. Double there. Couple singles and a double. What is this? A cutter? He's throwing a bunch of pitches. 231 there. 15% K. I do like he's not striking out though. So hitting the sinker and slider. You could say Lopez here for a hit. Quantrill's not good in my opinion. I will look at what his pitch mix has been this year. It's been, well, he's been a reliever, so it's only really been 2 pitches. The sinker and cutter he's leaning on. So you got 345 for Lopez there, 378 against the sinker, 231 against the cutter. Very low K percentage. Should be good for it. The whiff percentage is low too, 12%. The cutter is decently high there. But I'm not expecting Quantrill to get whiffs or get strikeouts. So Lopez there for a hit. All right, let's go to the right hand side. You got Poland against Philly. Philly's really not good against lefties. You could go anywhere from Turner, Baum, and I'm forgetting what those like the back half of their lineup, who those righties are. We just looked at Quantrill. Boston, I don't think they're really good against lefties. This kid's young though, made 2 starts on the road, now is going into Coors. So I expect him to struggle here. But as I mentioned, they don't really have a lot of people that can hit lefties. You got Rafaela. The K percentage is not there though. 2 home runs against that changeup. I don't expect him to throw that changeup much at Coors though. He may lean. I feel like he's gonna lean more so on this 4-seamer. Rafaela 313 there, 35% K. Contreras, 222, 13% K. Let's look last 30. None of them really have like a big sample size here. 286 for Contreras, 12% K. Montesero, platoon player, 333. Small sample size, does have a home run though. He hit it well last year too, being Montesero. Contreras 273, 29% K though. Long shot, home run play here somewhere. I feel like Sullivan's young, first time pitching at Coors. 17% barrel for Wilson, 16% for Rafaela. You could go either or. I lean Contreras when I look for power. From Boston, it's been really Contreras all year round. So I say Contreras here for a homer. Only a 5% barrel though. That sucks, but as I mentioned, he's about the only one. And then Montesero has 7.1. Wilson 20% last year. Yeah, I'll lean Contreras here for homer and Coors against the rookie. Moving forward, Wroblewski here against Minnesota. He more so doesn't give up the barrel like we had yesterday with Lauer. However, doesn't get the swing and strike stuff. Could go back to Buxton there as well. His ground ball, fly ball is low. Is giving up hard contact. Leaning more so on this four seamer 52% of the time. Buxton 35% barrel there across 14 events. Royce Lewis has some barrel there too. Small sample size for him. I'll look at last year real quick to get a full season view. 37% for whoever Jackson is. Lee 17%. Buxton 21% across 32 events. So do like that. 3 home runs there for him. I'll look last 30. 33%, only 3 events. So 1 barrel there for Buxton against Libertor. Okay. Buxton has been hot this year, as I mentioned yesterday. Slider, 20% barrel, so 1 barrel there for Buxton. Last year, 16% barrel across 6, so 1 barrel for him. There, Royce Lewis did barrel against it 22%, so he could be in play here. I didn't see what he was doing this year, nothing at all. I'm more so lean Buxton here, possibly for a homer. Okay. You got Rodriguez at St. Louis, leaning heavy on this four seamer. Walker 278, 31% barrel. Do like that across 16 events. Let's look last 30. So 50%, only 2 events. So 1 barrel, 1 home run for him. I don't even know how to say his name, but Nelson Velasquez. He has 1 barrel there, a platoon player. So this is his time to shine really against left-handed pitching. We'll look last year real quick. 325 for Herrera. Walker 292, 25% K though. 1 home run. I'll look at this change up real quick too. 500 for Walker. 10% barrel, so 1 barrel there. Let's look last 30. So no barrels for Walker in the last 30. Is batting 500, so 2 hits for him against this, a single and a double. Does have some batted balls, north of 100 miles per hour though, so do like that. Just has to get the launch angle on it. He's barely throwing this cutter, but it is getting barrels, so let's look at it. Walker, not a lot of events here for them. Only 4 at the most from Herrera. Okay, last year 20% barrel for Walker. I lean Walker here for a home run, possibly. He's been hitting well this year. Way better than he was last year too. So Walker for a hit, and then possibly for a home run here against Rodriguez. And then let's look at Avila here. He does give a better batting average to lefties. However, his K to walk is bad against righties. And so I lean when I look for a hit for Tampa Bay. I'm looking for Yandy, batting 400 against the slider, 14% barrel. Sinker wise, 432. He's not hitting this four seamer like at all. Cannot catch up to it. It is Avila's third pitch though, but he is getting 96 on it, so that could be trouble for Yandy. You do see Junior here with a 14% barrel, 324. So if you're looking home run, possibly him. He sold us a couple days ago, so I'm leaning away from him. But 72, almost 73% of Avila's pitch mix is this slider and this sinker, in which Yandy's hitting 417 against, in which I didn't notice, but Junior's hitting 281. So honestly, Junior may be in play for a homer. I'm not gonna lie, without me being biased. And 303 in the last 30 for him, and then you add that four seamer in, and then I thought he was hitting the four seamer. He must not be hitting the four seamer recently. But Yandy's still there, 556 across 18 at bats, and then Junior 289. I thought he had the barrel, but I guess not. Only 2 home runs. Villaday here 12.5%, but I lean Yandy there for a hit over everything. Okay. Lambert in Toronto. Baz at the Angels. Let's look at him real quick. So he's giving up barrel to his knuckle curve, a couple home runs against his cutter. He is throwing it 33% of the time. You got Adele 357, Neto 11% barrel, 25% for Siri, and 27% for Solar. So Soler, knuckle curve, they're not really gonna see that. I will look last year, see if anybody had any barrel. So Adele did have barrel last year. Oh, Hoppy. Four seamer. Neto 17%. Solar 13%. Barely anything for Adele. Let's look last 30. Neto has been hitting home runs lately, though, for them. Not more so this four seamer though. Only one there. They all about got a homer against it. I don't really trust the Angels, so I'm not gonna look too much into that. You got Adele versus Milwaukee. Don't really trust Chorio. Could go Contreras. Lodolo is giving up barrel though, but he has looked better recently than he did. Sonny Gray at Colorado, no. Mitch Keller versus Seattle at home, no. That may be it on my end. You do have some barrel here. As I mentioned, Savali, I feel like Savali gives up one. It's either gonna be I feel like it's gonna be Schmidt, who's from the right side that we didn't look at, and then Eldridge or Devers on that end. This Angels guy is giving up some to the right. Could go Ward here again, facing his old team. Sinker. You got O'Neal 10% barrel across 19 events. Alonso 9.4, 53 events. Ward 333. Barely any barrel for him. Let's look last 30. So Alonso drops off there, 5.6 barrel across 18 events. Ward 12.5% across 364. So do like that for him. He has given up a little bit of barrel to that sinker. Cutter wise, Alonso does have a barrel there and a home run. Full season wise is still him. Ward, one barrel there. Sweeper, Alonso, one barrel, one home run. Ward, nothing there. Is really not hitting that sweeper at all. Is his third pitch though. Alonso 20%, so you could go Alonso home run here. 11% barrel across 27 events. Ward 7.4 across 27. 12.5 for Neal. I lean Alonso here for a homer. As I mentioned though, Ward is back at the Angels, who did let him go, so possibly Ward 2, but I lean Alonso for the number 1 there.